Oops, you caught me. I'm enjoying this chicken parm with some pasta and some good wine, but let me show you how we got here. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Nellie, and you guessed it, we are not in my kitchen today. We're actually out on my deck, which I like to call my summer kitchen, and I am dying to try out a new burner that I have, so we're gonna make some delicious chicken Parmesan with a side of spaghetti to go with it. So, if you're like me and you love Italian, let's get cooking. Okay, so what we're gonna need is 3 chicken breasts. And what I've done is I've already taken 2 and I've cut them acrosswise. And I've put a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and some garlic powder. And I've left this last one to show you, and I also pounded them, so wanna get them as thin as I can. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this and we're gonna cut it just to make it thinner. And you can cut these however you'd like. If you want to go a little bit thinner, you could probably cut this one in half too. But I'm just going to leave them. And then a little trick. Just cover this up with some plastic paper. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to turn them over. Plastic wrap keeps you from getting anything spraying back on you. Okay, so now that we're done, what I've done is put a little bit of coarse salt in here, some garlic powder, and some pepper, and we're just gonna season. I'm just gonna season the front and back a little bit. So here we have 3 eggs. And we're just gonna add this little mixture that's left over of salt, garlic powder, and pepper. And then here I have 2 minced garlic cloves, and I'm gonna add those in here as well. And that's actually what makes it super tasty. We're gonna mix that up. Make sure you just kind of mix all those eggs up very well. All right, so we have our chicken. We're gonna save this plastic off to the side. And now what we're gonna do is we're going to dip each piece in the egg mixture. And we're just gonna put it here. Wanna make sure that they all get nice and coated evenly. And what we're gonna try and do is have this for at least 15 minutes before we actually fry it, because the garlic will give it a great taste. And actually, if you have more time, you can leave it in the egg mixture overnight, or however long you'd like, maybe 2 hours if you have a little extra time. I'm just gonna do it for about 15 minutes while our oil heats up. All right. Now that we have that, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour this over, and we're gonna let it sit so it gets that great garlicky taste. We're gonna cover it up, and we're gonna let it marinate. We'll see you back when the oil's heated up. So while we have the oil heating, we're going to take and we're going to mix 1 cup of Panko with 1 cup of breadcrumbs. The reason we're mixing Panko with the regular breadcrumbs is because Panko tend to not absorb as much oil. So your chicken parm won't be as fried or greasy, if you want to call it that. All right, so we have our 2 types of breadcrumbs, and we're gonna mix them together. And I did get the Italian seasoned. If you want to get plain, you can do that as well. Then add your own, oregano, basil. It's just easier if you get the Italian, and if you like it. The other thing we are going to add is, what would chicken parm be without a little bit of Parmesan? So we're going to add about a half a cup or a quarter cup, depending on how much you like it. We're going to add it to the breading. And we're going to mix it together. And then you can also put a little bit of sweet leaf basil if you like it. So this recipe really, you know, you can use as much salt or pepper or garlic as you like. There's nothing set in stone. Just do what you like and what tastes good. So there we have it. We've mixed everything up. And pretty soon our chicken is gonna be ready to go. All right, so now while our chicken is marinating, we are going to go ahead and heat up the oil. And I use Luann peanut oil. I just tend to like it the best. So let's just go ahead and pour the oil in there. And I am not gonna have it like super floating in there and, you know, deep frying it. I'm just gonna put in enough that gives it enough room to, you know, kind of be flipped over without hitting the bottom. So, gonna heat that up, put it on fry, 300 degrees, and we're gonna let that get heated up, and we'll be back to start making our chicken. All right, so our oil is just about ready, and our chicken has been marinating nicely. We've got everything ready to go. Our panko and our breadcrumbs. And what I've done is, since this is gonna go in the oven for about 15-20 minutes, I have put some olive oil on this rack so it doesn't stick once it comes out. And let's give it a try. I'm gonna take one of our chicken breasts, put it in the panko, make sure it's coated well, put it in the oil. And we're gonna wanna do this for about 4 minutes on each side. So watch that. I'm gonna try and put all the little thinner pieces in together. So fry at the same rate. Think maybe we can do one more? All right, so we are actually at the 5-minute mark, and originally I had this burner turned on to 300, but I've upped it to 350. So we're at 5 minutes, and we're gonna flip it over. And we're gonna let it go for another 4 minutes now that I've turned it up. And then once it's done, we're gonna put them on our baking sheet here, and we'll be right back. All right, so we are at the 5-minute mark. Originally when I had started, I put the burner on 300, but I upped it to 350. So now we're gonna flip them over. And they're getting a nice golden brown color. So now that I've upped the temperature, I'm gonna leave them for another 4 minutes, and then we're gonna take them out. And we'll be back in 4 minutes. All right, so they're looking really nice and golden brown. Let's take them out. Put them on our plate here. So let's get the next ones going. Want to make sure they're all well coated. Put them in here and be careful. It's steaming hot now. If you can, make sure to dip them in that egg mixture so you get it all covered up nicely, and then it'll pick up your crumbs. Hey Siri, set timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
All right, so our second batch is ready. That nice golden brown color. We're gonna let it drain a little bit, and then we're gonna put it on our plate. All right, we have one last piece ready. That's ready to go in. All the others have nice golden brown color, and we are going to get ready to put some sauce and some mozzarella on top and get them in the oven. And then we're gonna make our spaghetti. All right, so I have got our mozzarella here, fresh mozzarella. Let's flip this guy over. Our last piece we're waiting on. It's getting a nice color. Okay, so some people like to make their own sauce. Some people like to use spaghetti sauce. I like to use pizza sauce. I like to use it just because it's a little bit thicker, has a little more flavor. So what we're gonna do is, while we're waiting for that, open this up, and on each piece, we're gonna put some sauce. Like this one, it's just the classic. These little pieces, the thinner pieces can be for the kids, bigger pieces for the adults. Or if you got kids that like a lot of chicken parm, I guess the bigger pieces for the kids. And I like this because, like I said, it's thicker, so it doesn't run all over the place, and it just actually gives it a better flavor, I think. But again, it's all personal preference, however you like it. Put 1 or 2 pieces of mozzarella over the top. I think for the littler ones, we can just do 1 piece. For this one, put it like this. We are going to heat up the oven now to 430 degrees, and then we're going to put this in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes, and the cheese is going to get nice and brown and bubbly, and then it'll be ready. And while we're doing that, we're going to make our spaghetti. So we'll be back. All right, so our chicken parm is ready to go in the oven. We have our mozzarella on it, and what I did do was I put a little bit of sweet basil on top. You can put basil or oregano or just some parsley if you like, or nothing at all if you don't like any of that. So we're gonna put this in the oven at 430 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll be back to make our spaghetti. All right, so let's make some spaghetti. The interesting thing about this burner is it actually has a water boil function, so let's give it a try. That function will be water. It's got it at 460 degrees. So we are gonna wait for the water to boil. Hopefully it'll be pretty quickly, and then we're gonna just make some spaghetti. All right, our water is boiling, and we've got our spaghettis ready. So while our chicken parm is in the oven, just gonna take a handful, and I know I probably shouldn't be breaking it, but it'll be faster that way. All right, I think that's enough for 2 for tonight, but let's put a little extra in for lunch tomorrow. So now we're gonna let the spaghetti bring it back to a boil. 7 to 9 minutes, and we'll stir it occasionally, and we'll be back to taste test everything, and I'm sure it's going to be delicious. See you soon. Here it is, our chicken parm straight out of the oven. Looks delicious. The mozzarella's all bubbled up. Our spaghetti with a little bit of sauce, and of course you can't forget the wine. So let's give it a try. Taste test time, my favorite part. See that the mozzarella is nice and melted. So delicious. Nice and juicy in the middle. It's not too dry at all. You can taste the garlic. Amazing. The pasta's a nice side, but the chicken parm steals the show. So I'm gonna continue enjoying this great meal with some good wine. And if you guys enjoyed the video, give us a like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time for some more good cooking.